Hello everyone and welcome to another episode. On this episode we'll be talking about POIs, okay? So basically I have been planning on making this video for a long time now, but I've been a little bit busy with stuff and all. So um today I'm going to give you guys the basic rules of which I use when it comes to picking POIs and how I trade my SMC patterns, because the channel is basically for SMC and Wyckoff. So um if you want to see how I use Electrowave and the rest, you can check out the YouTube channel, which the link is on the description below, and you can as well subscribe to the YouTube channel for more videos like this. Okay, so basically the issue people have with picking POIs is trying to find the right POI when it comes to SMC. A lot of people have issues with this because they expect price action to be like this. They expect price to move more like this. Which price doesn't move like this. You have to understand that this market is out to hunt for liquidity. Okay, so you have to look for the liquidity. Obviously, you could say this is just mitigating and mitigating and mitigating. So if price moves like this, clearly there's no direction for price, and probably this is clearly not a price action, right? But then we expect price to move like this on an uptrend, right? So if you want to pick a POI, it's best for you to be at this point, and then at this point, right? So the best you could do when looking for POI is try to understand the basic concepts of premium and discounts. Okay, so I know I've mentioned this a lot when it comes to POI, understanding premium and discount, but this plays a very big role when it comes to POI, because you can't be looking for buys um, on a premium zone when price is clearly going to be heading for discount. Okay, so what you have to do is wait for price to get to discount to look for buys. Okay, so basically I'm going to give you some patterns which you could use to look for these POIs around premium and discount. So most of the time what I do on the first rule is this: understand structure. Okay, so when it comes to SMC, there are some basic rules which you could use to trade price. All right, so I'm just going to be listing that out now for you to follow. Okay, so the basic rules when it comes to finding your POI using SMC is: number one, you have to understand the internal and external structure. All right, so this is the forward time frame basically, and if you want to trade this, it's advisable you get the direction from the weekly time frame, and then understand the bias using the daily time frame. Okay, so you could follow the structure of the forward time frame if you're going to be into the trading. All right, so also even for swings also, because I prefer forward time frame structure to any other structure, but swings it's advisable to use the weekly. All right, so on the forward time frame you have to understand the structure, the intraday and um, the main structure. So which is the current intraday structure? We clearly see this, right? This is the structure, right? This is currently the forward structure, and then this would be the daily structure. So this should be the swing high, previous low, and current low. Okay, so okay, let me now use current price action to try to explain that. Oh, all right, so here's a beautiful one. So I'm now a premium, so I can't use the black back play tool, all right, because I'm not premium. So I'm just going to explain this. So now if we're to be looking for a POI over here, where is the swing structure, we understand that this high took out the previous low, which was over there. All right, so I'm giving you the basic when it comes to swing POIs. All right, so after this we'll go down to intraday POIs, and then I will share that also. So Now we understand this is the previous structure, right? So this becomes a new low to the structure. This is a swing structure. You have to understand price now would be reversing, or you could say retracing, because it's a downtrend and probably the storyline of the weekly or the monthly hasn't been completed. Price now, like I said earlier, you have to look for buys within premium, sorry, sales within premium and buys within discount. So this is a bearish zone, so obviously we want to look for um sales. Okay, so we have total price to get it to premium. So anything within this POI, within this zone, because this is premium zone above now, would be a buying opportunity. So which is the closest POI we see and where is the inducement? Now we see these highs which are over here. This clearly is an internal structure high. Like I said, you have to understand the main structure and internal structure. Okay, so now we have understood the main structure. Where is the internal structure? We have this over here. All right, so this is internal structure of this range. So what do we expect price to do? We expect price to move into premium, right? So, and also at the same time expect price to clear the internal structure, which is the buy side liquidity or the sell side liquidity, whichever you want to call it. And then secondly, we have to look for a demand zone closest to the inducement. You all know what an inducement is. If you don't, you could check out the video below, or or one of my videos. I don't know which of them, but one of my videos I did talk about inducement. So just go through that and you will see the video for inducement. So where is the supply zone closest to inducement, which is internal high? We have this internal high over here. The closest supply zone would be this guy, right? We have this over here. Okay, so now the next you will have to understand is the imbalance. Where is the imbalance? The closest imbalance to the inducement. Now, okay, let me list this out for you. So probably you could jot that down when you're doing your own personal backtesting and trying to understand this stuff on your own. Okay, so let me say over here. This basically is what I do on the lower time frame also, just that on the lower time frame we get to add the Asian range liquidity and all, but then on the higher time frame, this I'm a basic course of looking for a POI. So basic POI moves. One in and in final structure. Okay, so number two, supply demand zone. Number three, imbalance closest to a inducement. Okay, so you could say the internal structure is clearly the inducement for this, once price tries to move back into premium. So okay, so I think that should be number two, premium, and this can should be number two. Let me make that number two because that's very important. Okay, so this would be number three, and then this would be number five. So we could make inducement number four. Okay, so now we go to number six, sorry. Number six on the list. What next? So I'll add that once I'm done with this explanation. So you could also jot that down, or I don't know. And now, what do we have? The closest imbalance to the adjustment would be this, right? I did trade this last week. I think it looks very familiar to a trade I took last week. So this is a correct inducement which we have. right? To yeah, this is the current inducement which we have to closest to the um, premium. Okay, so now we found the imbalance closest to the inducement, which we're looking for price to mitigate premium. So price comes into premium, fills the imbalance. Obviously, this is a POI, and you could see the reaction of it. Okay, so this is like a swing POI. How to pick a swing POI. So this, yeah, I know a lot of you might be saying, "What about this? Why didn't I, pick this um, imbalance zone?" This is a random question which I expect one of you to be asking. Why didn't I expect this high to hold since it's like a strong high, because this high took out this low. But then why that why I did not pick that is basically because of what I said at the beginning of this premium and discount. Okay, so if price would be returning into premium, this would be the closest inducement for price to clear. All right, so price has to clear an inducement because price just cleared side liquidity and it's headed for buy side liquidity. So which is the liquidity which is obvious, where we would have a lot of buys stop loss above. It would be this. So this was the inducement. Okay. So now, why did price react from this and not the supply zone? I know that's also a question a lot of you might want to ask also. Well, on my next video, which I'm planning to release next week, it's going to be about hidden base, because clearly price reacted from this hidden base over here and not the supply zone, which this is also a valid mitigation, because this was the POI I was expecting price to react from when I was trading. So basically, this is my rules when it comes to picking a POI. You could jot that down and backtest that yourself. But then, price reacted from this because we had a hidden base over here. You could say an hidden order block, right? So this was the closest to the inducement, to the imbalance, sorry, which we had, and not the supply zone, right? So yeah, if you're asking what if price run up this into this, yes, that's also still possible. That's why we do the refining on the lower time frame and wait for confirmations before taking a trade. Okay. And those of you who still ask what are my confirmations for taking a trade, I use the FU candle, break of structure, or probably Wyckoff, sometime Wyckoff, and then time, timing, which is kill zone. That is also a good confluence for entries. And then let's use this to refine why or how to get an entry POI. Okay, so price fills up the imbalance. Obviously, if I was to be trading this with my owner's opinion, I would be waiting for price to clear all this liquidity, probably with an FU candle, then wait for the 50%. But then that never happened. And then looking at the structure of this, remember these rules, they still apply to the lower time frame also. Okay, so they still apply 100% to the lower time frame. Let me just bring that down. So number one, we have main structure. So on the main, some of you might be asking which is the main structure on the lower time frame. We have the 2 hour. This is the 2 hour time frame, right? So what do we have here? Let's say from here, low, high, low, high, right, low, then high, low, higher high. So we have a lower high over here, and price fails to clear, make a higher high over here, right? So a lot of us might be looking for entries around here. So which on the lower time frame, let's say the 15-minute time frame, or let's just follow the rules, explain it that easily before I go down to lower time frame. I'll show you how I do the refining. If I was to be looking for an entry over there, how it would be looking like. Okay, so this is the main structure, right? So where is the internal structure over this of this? Where is the internal structure of this? If I was to be looking for that, this was the high, right, which created this low. So like I said earlier, my entry rules are either an FU candle, break of structure, or timing. Okay, so on this, I would say I think this is a nation high. Let's see. Okay, All right, this is not my this is a web recording, so I don't have my tools which I normally use when it comes to observing nation highs. So, and this is set to New York timing. Yeah, so I don't know which of this is the Asian range and all. But then I think this consolidation which we're seeing over here, it should be an Asian consolidation and all. But then what we have, we never had an FE candle, right? So what we had was a shift in structure which happened over here, which means there was no clear entry from the POI, which was this prices filled the imbalance, and selling from here will be very, very risky for me if you ask me, because price never broke main structure. But then I would still show you a little trick which you could use on the lower time frame for confirmation. But then we have identified the main structure, right? Which is the second. We want to look for premium and discounts. Remember, we are within premium of a 4-hour range now on a bearish market. So we will be looking at the premium and discount of this. This is premium, right? So if we want to be looking for sales, it has to be within this. Okay, like I said earlier, selling from this POI using structure would be risky. I would consider that risky because price hasn't broke structure yet. Okay, so we have identified premium, right? So next on the list, we need to identify the supply or demand zone, which I think that for that we have to go to the lower time frame. Let's say the 15-minute time frame, or maybe the 30-minute time frame, because for me they're the two when it comes to looking for entries. Okay, so over here on the 15-minute time frame within premium, what do we have? We found, let me now take this out to make it clear. Okay, so we have this high to this low to be our range, right? So where is the internal range structure within this? We have this high, right? We have this high as our internal range high. Okay, so like I said earlier, I would be expecting price to FA these highs, but that never happened. As you can see, these are equal highs, and taking a sell from that would be what I consider risky. So following the same rules, what do we have? On inducement, this high was the inducement. If you ask me, the internal range high. Like I said, they are always inducements once prices is tracing back. Price came over here, created an equal high, never officially cleared that high, and then we found this internal structure within this, which was this high to this low, high, low, high, high, right? So price shifting structure over here, which was a change in character. We had a change of character here. Alright, so next we expect price to give a pullback to premium. I think this is where we use the 1 minute time frame, but I can't go down to that. Let's see, you do the same thing over again on the 1 minute time frame. Okay, so okay, I think I stop at the 15-minute time frame, so we would just continue with this. So but basically this is the same thing. You could see price we trace back into premium after the break of structure, and then mitigated the hidden order block over here. So I'm going to be explaining that at the end of this video. Okay, so this would have been how the refining would have gone, but very much I would expect price to clear out these highs probably after this change of character over here, but price never did. But then we got the main confirmation when price booked is low. Okay, so this became our new range which we expect price to react from, and you could see clearly price came into this, cleared this liquidity, which was the internal high. Like I said, main structure, internal structure, we found a range after a break of structure. This became a new range, right? Where was the internal structure, we had these highs, and supply and demand zone, which was the closest POI to this, we had this imbalance, right? So this was a climatic sell. Otherwise, the price to move back into this high. Why? I would explain that probably in the future video also. But the closest POI to this would have been a breaker. Okay, so the breaker would have been the closest POI to this. And now on the breaker, this would have been our POI, right? Price now clears structure again, which means we have a new structure now. What do we expect next? This would have been our first entry, right? Like I said, main structure, internal structure. What do we have? On the internal highs, we have this, right? Which is the closest demand supply zone would be this. So you see, same thing over and over again. Price just keeps doing that, and here you go. Price clears that, mitigates that, breaks structure again. You could do the same thing over and over again, and you see price keeps respecting that, moving into premium, came back down, broke the low, came back up, then same thing, took out the low from this high to this low, became our new range. Where is the internal highs? Where this? Okay, so price never officially broke that. Oh, it did actually. So price created this inducement. You know, this was the internal highs. And what happened? Price stopped on this one, taking out this inducement. You know, changed cracked again, and same thing over and over again. Okay, so now these are my basic rules when it comes to looking for a POI. Right, so you could screenshot that, save that, or whichever you want to do. I'm just going to leave that here for probably 5 seconds before taking out that. Okay, so now I'm going to give you criteria for picking a POI. Okay, what the basic patterns which qualify as a POI. All right, so as you all know, most POIs could either be a supply or demand zone, another block, or a breaker block. Okay, so to pick another block, what's the criteria you need? For me, basically, I just use this structure, which is the popular SMC structure, which you all know about already, which is this. Which is basically what I just told you guys, you know, manipulation, break structure, internal high, clears just that, and then drops. Okay, so most of the times, like you all know, if you're following me on my Telegram channel, you would know that I do not trade from an obvious order block, right? So I see obvious order blocks as liquidity, so price is likely to stop on those, you know, mitigating probably a hidden base or a hidden order block. If you don't know the difference between the two, I have a video which explains that about order block below. Okay, so you could check for the video and then, you know, get that knowledge. But then on this, if this was let's say a hidden order block, right, on the 1 hour time frame, it will be an obvious order block on the 5 minute time frame. That doesn't mean I won't take it. All right, I don't mostly trade from obvious order block, but that's on the higher time frame. Let's say the 1 hour, the 4 hour time frame, or the 30 minute time frame. Those are the obvious time frames everyone will be looking at. Okay, so I prefer that to be an hidden base, you know, where price comes into that, clearing out the inducements and filling up the imbalance. All right, so the imbalance plays a big and important role in picking a POI, because you know, you don't want to pick a POI which doesn't have an inducement or an imbalance, because that clearly means that has already been mitigated. Okay, so these are my basic rules for picking a POI, and this is my basic pattern which I use most of the time. And then, like I said, I just do that on the higher time frame, and same thing on the lower time frame, and I expect, you know, price to do its own thing. Okay, if you're confused about what I said earlier about this and why I picked the breakup block, probably, like I said on video in the future, I would explain that, and you could like, subscribe to the channel to get notified when the videos comes out. Okay, so thanks for watching, and I hope this has been valuable to you, and you could put this to practice, you know, on your own, trying to understand all this by back testing. All right, so thanks for watching, and see you next time.